Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Full Damage on the Mindcrack Season 5 server. He said 4. We're on top of a crafting bench here, just looking at Spawn Village, Spawn Town, the town of Spawn. Just going to follow this river north here. I've been looking at our overviewer map. You can find that at not Good LP. Well, I suppose Good LP works as well. But mindcracklp.com. If you look in the More tab, there is a weekly map which is delayed by a week, but updated daily for the, what I mean. Anyway, we're going to follow this river north. I've had this idea for a while, probably a year or so. I've been wanting to try this kind of thing. I saw a post on Reddit a long time ago which inspired me to do this. I'm pretty much blatantly stealing it, but I'm doing it by my own design. Which is perfectly legal, probably. Anyway, let's keep heading this way. North? Is this north? Yeah, north. Nice. Along this river here. And let's talk about the idea. So, something about Minecraft that has always bugged me. You can, for example, take a water source from a river in a bucket, put it down, and that water source will spread out and stay forever. It's unrealistic, and I know it's realistic in Minecraft sense and blah blah blah, and it's all nice and good and enjoyable, but it's unrealistic in a realistic sense. Like, if you were to take a bucket of water from a river, pour it on top of a mountain, it would flow down the mountain and stop being at the top of the mountain. So we're kind of going for a more realistic approach. Like, if somebody wants water at the top of a mountain, you have to pump that water up the top of the mountain. Which brings me on to step 2. Things like pumping and doing stuff like your TVs and your electronics and your doors, or your electronic doors, I suppose. Your whatever, anything that does stuff requires some form of power. And that comes from the national grid or hydro or whatever in the US. And you don't have to worry about it, but somebody does. And that exists, and it happens. So that's kind of what we're going for. Want to go with a realistic thing. And we also want to be able to generate power, and if we're not generating enough power, then, or if we stop generating power, like we run out of fuel, for example, then it stops. We generate no more, or nothing works. Like, we stop pumping our water, our doors don't open, our lights turn off, etc, etc. Stuff like that. I saw a bed back there, but I don't really want to run back to it. Oh, I guess I will, because it's nighttime. And I don't want to have to start all this in the nighttime. So yeah, that's the idea. Kind of going for a realistic approach. Obviously, with the whole pumping water thing, we're going to need to build pipes, and we're going to need to power those pipe. I air quotes all the time. Like, this is only self-enforced rules. There's no actual like power being generated that's actually physically pumping water. It's just all visual and self-imposed rules. But obviously, why we're next to the river is because having the river there is going to help us, because we, instead of pumping the water for miles, we can just start next to the river. I guess I should find a better bed. Oh, jeez, getting shot. So that's the idea we're going for. Hopefully it works. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like I said, it's all self-enforced rules. There's no vanilla trickery. It's just self-enforced rules and management of stuff. Is there no bed here? Why does this man not have a bed? Or woman, I suppose. Could be Ori. Ori left me a book. I saw that. It's cool. It's a nice book. Am I going to run all the way back to Spawn Town just to find a stupid bed? Are you serious? Jesus. I don't want to sleep away the night. I should have carried a bed, really. I've got pretty much everything else I need for this project. And I know there's mods and such that do this kind of stuff. Like, I'm playing on the Crackpack server. I know, like, there's mods for generating power and powering furnaces. Not necessarily shutting down all your redstone contraptions and locking your doors if you run out of power, but there are mods which deal with that kind of stuff. There we go, there's a bed. But this, like I said, we want to try it in vanilla. We can be a bit more open, a bit more free with it, because we are only self-enforcing these rules. We can change these rules however we want and make them work for us, instead of just having whatever the mods give us. We can do whatever we want, really. But anyway, I'm gonna run back over to that area we kind of turned around in. That's kind of where I'm thinking I'm gonna build it, and I'm gonna get started in designing our first part of this town thing. Okay, so first things first, our power station. This is the basic design for one power generating unit here. So the idea is that we have to keep this topped up with fuel. It can be any item. The idea is that I'm going to be using coal as our fuel because, well, it's a coal-fired power plant, I guess. So we come here and we can light this. This piston here is a bud switch, a block update detector. So it detects that the fire has been lit. As there's no coal in the system, this piston will extend, that's under here, which will push the netherrack under there and stop the fire from being, well, a fire, I guess. Let's extend that, because I think that works better. Yeah. Unfortunately, it does do a double pulse, because it's detecting once the fire is placed, so it pulses then. It also detects that the fire has gone, so then it pulses again, and that doesn't work. But yes, as you can see, it's putting out the fire because there is no fuel in the system. The way we fuel the system, let me... Where is my coal? There's some coal. Let's grab some coal here and get lucky on it. Okay. The way we fuel the system is popping items into here, into this hopper, which will feed down into this dropper. This dropper is facing into this dropper, and this dropper is facing downwards, and there's a gap below it, and then another gap, and then the hopper down there. When we press... Let me double check that I've got items ready. I think I do, but just to make sure. Yes, okay. Good, good, good. So when we press this button here, not like that, when we press this button here, that sends a redstone pulse down this way and up to here into this dropper. This dropper drops an item into this dropper. When this dropper has an item in it, it turns off this, allows this hopper clock to run. This hopper clock runs for roughly the same burn time as a piece of coal, once back and once forward. So every time it makes a noise, every time the pistons go, it will be half a coal burn in a furnace. This also extends out this way. So when there's an item in here, this dropper extends, or this piston extends. Sorry. You are currently stopped for some reason. That's interesting, and I didn't expect that to happen. Yeah, you're not going to do anything. Why did that happen? That should have dropped another item into here. And it's working in creative. So the question is, why don't you drop another item? Presumably being powered from something. Is it you? No, it shouldn't be you. That didn't do anything in creative. But it's presumably being unpowered now. Okay, let's try this. It's always annoying switching from creative back to survival, because you try and just tap a block to break it and it doesn't work. Never works. Let's try that. See what this does for us. Boop. So that should put the one item in there. You see this one is extended. We'll talk about that in a second. I just want to make sure. So you're going to go. You are ticking down. Excellent. I just want to make sure this drops its item into this dropper here. I was having some bud issues before, but of a different variety. Yeah, you're not doing anything, are you? You are not ticking your item over at all. Like, even doing that, that should definitely trigger you, and that certainly doesn't. But the button does. That's the weird part. It's also getting nighttime again. God dang it. Doesn't make any sense that the button does. Let's fill it with some more coal here. Okay. Let's tick you over. You put one item into there. And when this ticks back, you should drop your item, but you don't, so why not? We'll see if it has anything to do with that block that was below it. No, still got 8 in you. Okay, let's check the orientation quickly. So we're facing north here. Let me tab over to my other world. And here we are facing north. So it's not a east, north, whatever problem. It's something weird. Yet the button works. That doesn't make any sense. Why does the redstone block not work and the button does? That makes no sense whatsoever. Make another button here. That works, but the redstone block should. The redstone block should trigger that redstone, all of it. It triggers this one perfectly fine. But not this one. Let's try a block here, maybe? Well, that seemed to have maybe done it. We've got another one in there. What's the moon? Moon is rising. Oh, that's okay. That's not good. Why you do this now? Oh, because this is over here. Boop. Fix that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you can stop doing that now. Okay. But you drained your items, so that does mean you're working. So that was weird. Not entirely sure what happened there. Let's get that block back under there, because we do need that one. Okay. Still can't tap to break blocks. So, talk about this a little more. Let's get these items back in here, and we'll set it going again. So like I said, this piston extends. Now when this extends, if we go ignite the fire and trigger the block update detector. Ah, dumbass. Okay. So this here is now powering this repeater and into this block, and this repeater is latching itself on until this becomes empty. Once it becomes empty, it will shut down this line here, which will send our pulse and turn off the fire via the piston that's behind there, same way it does it normally. And if it's retracted, then the pulse from the block update detector will just go straight through the system and into that piston there. So that's how that all works. You can stop that nonsense. Okay, fine. Anyway, also, this latched on power goes to the rest of our system. This is going to indicate that we have power. So basically we're going to wire this up to all of our other redstone, all of our lights and stuff like that. If this is on, good, function normally. If this is off, don't function. The only other thing is, down here, all the items are getting dropped into this hopper. Once this hopper has, I think it's about 47 items, it will turn off this redstone torch, because it will power from this comparator through the redstone line, turn off this redstone torch, and retract this piston, which will turn off our power, because this will turn off. Basically, that indicates that we have burnt 47 pieces of coal, our waste is too high, the power can't get through, or the steam to boil the water to turn the turbines is not functioning, or whatever. Basically, our waste is too high, we need to deal with the waste. The way it's currently set up gives us about an hour of burn time, just over, so like an hour, a real-life hour of time, until we have to deal with the waste. But we are going to have to physically store the waste, which I like. That's the basic setup. I probably recorded... Oh no, we didn't record too long. We should be able to see how much more time have you got. You got 4 items in you. Once this burns out, like I said, this turns off, and then this pulses. The pulse generator here turns off and sends a pulse to turn out the fire. That basically shows us that if the fire is not there, we are not generating power. Of course, if the fire is there and we're not generating power, then we know we have too much waste. The only other thing to note is that as soon as we put items in and we press the button there, it will start burning the coal. But until we trigger the block update detector, until we start the fire, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just burning coal for the sake of burning coal. We're not actually generating any quote-unquote power. That's the other interesting thing of note. I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully the explanation has been good enough for you. You can understand kind of how this works. Have a look over in this little section, if you want to copy all the redstones. And then this is the bud here, with a torch underneath it on the top of that block down there. That's basically how the whole thing works. Got 2 items left. Let's take out these items. So the next time it will trigger is kind of on the half pulse right now. Or in fact, there we go. So everything is now turned off. It will trigger one more time because its default position is in the other direction, I think. Yes, it will trigger one more time because its default position is to sit the redstone block there. But we are no longer generating power. So then, in order to generate power, we have to light the fire. But the fire is not functioning because there's no coal. So we pop some coal into the machine. We are now currently burning coal. If we come up here, whoops, if we come up here, we can see that this... no, okay, yeah. So if we press the button to move the coal into the burning dropper, we are now burning coal, but we're not actually generating power because we haven't triggered the system yet. So as soon as we do that, boom, we are now generating some power. That's just how it works. I kind of like it. It's kind of like a coal-fired furnace thing. Anyway, I have to get some stuff done today. I'm actually doing some Christmas shopping. I just wanted to do this quickly and give you guys an idea and get you excited for this project. So as always, or well, no, first of all, in the comments, let me know what kind of other rules you think we could impose. Things like animals, we need to give them space. Like we can't just put 100 chickens in a 2x2 hole or something like that. We need to give them plenty of room. Other kind of rules, like we kind of want like a proper mine, a sawmill, like stuff that actually exists and would be needed to function instead of just ripping trees apart with our bare hands. But yes, as always, thank you guys very much for watching. Apologies that is another little bit of a short episode, but like I said, got to get some stuff done today. And yes, I shall see you in the next episode.